So hey guys, this is Gerald Soh here and welcome back to another episode of Hanging Out with the Expert. Today I have a very special guest all the way from Indonesia. And well, quick background about special guest here. He's an e-commerce entrepreneur, very successful one. He's also well known as the #1 Facebook ads, Facebook marketing coach. And I truly believe that he's also one of the best in literally our entire industry, right? And I say this with facts, all right? I'm not just saying just to make him happy, but really these are based on facts. And so without further ado, I'd like to introduce you guys to the one and only Albert Leonardo. Albert, how are you doing today, my friend?
Hi, how are you doing, Gerald? Thanks for having me. So yeah, it's very interesting.
I'm doing great. Yeah. So Albert, I met you 2 years ago, right, in Bali, Indonesia.
Yeah.
Right.
Bali Mastermind, right?
Yeah, good old days, good old days. So yeah, Albert, right? I mean, I know a little bit about your background, but a lot of viewers, right? They know you're a successful e-com entrepreneur. They know you're doing very well at Facebook ads, but we want to know, right? How do you get started? Last time, is it during your university days? Is it, some of our past speakers, they have their full-time job and then, they quit their full-time job, they do internet marketing. So how do you get started and what happened, throughout the years to, now today you become one of the, top e-com entrepreneurs as well as Facebook marketing coach. Can you share with all our viewers today?
Yeah, sure. So I started my career as a math and physics teacher. So I would go to students' house to teach private, give them tutoring, and then I had my own business, which is a learning center, tutoring center. At the same time, I was always into internet marketing because I know, I always heard a lot of stories about people getting huge success very fast in internet marketing. So I tried a lot of stuff like SEO, authority site, affiliate marketing. So I did have my page on the first page of Google for some keywords and have, so-called passive income from there. But as Google algorithm changed, my page also got first page. So when I stopped for a while focusing on my offline business, and then one day I read an article talking about, a case study about how he was able to get 200-300% ROI from Facebook ads. So that got me interested again. So I started picking up again and tried Facebook ads. That's around early 2014. So I decided to focus myself on paid traffic because we know how unreliable
That's true.
SEO. Yeah, so if you are able to do paid traffic, then you will be able to scale your business. That's basically how I got started on Facebook ads.
All right, so you started. So you were a math teacher and physics. Yeah, do you remember correct?
And physics, yeah, correct.
Wow, genius! All right, so so that explains why you have a math center with you literally automated the entire business, right? You told me last time.
Yeah. We had 2 branches. So one of them is totally automated. So I have a manager that's really doing very, very good, and he can manage the daily operation without me needed to go there. Yeah.
There you go, guys. I mean, not only online business, you can automate a lot of things. Like offline business, you can even automate like tuition centers, right? Amazing, learning centers. So
yeah.
Okay, you started off Facebook ads 2014. What happened? I correct me if I'm wrong. I think you started with Teespring, and was that I read your story somewhere. Your first 8 months, you kind of like failed or something. Maybe can you share with us?
Yeah. I started with Teespring. The reason is because I believe most of you know Teespring is a platform that allows you to focus on creating design and market it. And once you sell your design, the Teespring company will do the operation for you, the fulfillment, the shipping, the payment and stuff. So the reason I chose Teespring is because I wanted to focus my concentration on the marketing side, which is Facebook ads, because I know Facebook is very huge. You know, it takes a lot of time to learn, so that's why I need a company like Teespring. And yeah, that's how I got started. And my first campaign, which is my first design, happened to be lucky. It's ROI positive. It's ROI positive, so it gave me confidence to try again for the next design. But you know, the next designs going forward was, you know, all are losing campaign. So I lose money for the next 2 or 3 months after that, and then got some good designs and get profit again. And you know, it's up and down. It's up and down. And yeah, but you know, by the time I tested, I started gather some experience. And yeah, 1 year later, that's when I got my very, very huge campaign, which is Pi Day.
All right. Tell it. But yeah, I think we're going to go through about Pi Day case study after this.
Yeah.
But so, like, what did you Scott, you're really smart. Do you self-study, self-learn Facebook ads, Teespring, or is there a mentor that guided you through?
At that time, I took lots of online courses, so I didn't have you know, one-on-one mentor. So I just started online courses, and then forums. I went to a lot of forums, groups, and then I would print out, you know, the conversation in the forums, and yeah, and I would underline, you know, to find the pattern, what is working now. So you know, from people conversation, you will know that, oh, the PPE is working, or the website traffic is working and stuff. So that's how I trying to, you know, to crack what pattern or what is working at the moment.
Wow, interesting. Okay, so before we get started, right? I forgot to ask you this ice-breaking question, right?
Okay.
If there's one celebrity that you can choose, right? Who would you most like to have dinner with?
Celebrity. So I think Elon Musk is a celebrity, right?
He is.
Yeah, you know, yeah, I would want to have dinner with him to see how his everyday life is. You know, Elon Musk is very interesting because he's not going for, you know, how to earn lots of money, but he's more to how to get a better future of the humanity. So it will be very interesting to see how he thinks, how he speaks, and how he eats during the dinner.
You know, interesting is Matt Smith, you know, have the same answer as you, Elon Musk as well. Yeah, you're a good friend.
Yeah, I know he's my brother from another mother.
Yeah, great minds think alike. Nice. Elon Musk. Okay, so let's talk about Facebook first, right? I mean, this is you literally breathe, eat, sleep Facebook ads. You're the expert, right? And so the question is, you know, Facebook is literally always changing, constantly changing every day, new features, you know, new this, new that, and all. And so, you know, and a lot of viewers here who's watching this today, you know, some of them just getting started, you know, they're new to Facebook ads, or they, you know, they want to go from intermediate level to an expert level, just like you, right? So, you know, what are your advice or tips, you know, to our viewers today? How can they improve their Facebook ads game, bring it to the next level?
Yeah, regarding Facebook always changing, I think it's we have to accept the fact that Facebook is always changing, because as long as it's related to human, because Facebook is used by human, right? As long as it's related to human, so things will always change. So I think the changes always come down to three factors, which is audience, the marketers like us, and the Facebook itself, right? Like for example, like Teespring, it's very easy back then in, you know, 2013, 2014. You know, even simple design with simple text, you can sell it very well. But once the audience got, you know the concept, and then all marketers suddenly jump in, and the market gets saturated. It's not that people are not buying T-shirt anymore. It's just that people want, you know, more sophisticated, better design, as opposed to just simple text, right? So, you know, that's how the market, the marketers, the audience change, right? So yeah, we have to up our game. We have to upgrade our design skill and stuff. So regarding the changes by Facebook itself, like Mark Zuckerberg recently just mentioned about Facebook wanted will favor organic traffic from friends and families.
Yes.
In opposed to from pages, and Mark wanted Facebook to have meaningful meaningful engagement.
Yep.
So yeah, so we call that algorithm changes. But I think it's fair enough because Mark want the Facebook to be everlasting. So he wants to create a better environment in ecosystem in Facebook. So I think we need to respect that, and we as marketer also need to adapt to this. I mean, meaningful engagement is very good. Like for example, there is a lot of engagement bait. Click here, click yes, so I will share with you stuff, right? A lot of engagement, and it worked. But I think that Facebook ongoing forward will start punishing this kind of engagement bait. So yeah, so we need to adapt and see how we can create a meaningful engagement with our audience in our ad. So yeah, I think the point is that we need to accept the fact that Facebook is always changing. When we can accept this fact, we will no longer complain about every time algorithm changes, because at the end of the day, it always comes down to how good your product is, how good your offer is, and how good your creative and your copywriting can relate to your target audience. I really believe in that. If you can do well in your product, your creative, your copywriting, the algorithm doesn't really affect you.
That's true. That's true. So you're saying you have a very good product, nice creative image or video creatives, good copywriting, and it happens so many times for Earth, right? Our Shopify business, where when we have very special unique products, what happened was even when you have it happens once or twice where you have like grammar errors, unintentionally. Yeah. And it has small mistakes, but it still do very well. I think it's because it's nothing to do with algorithm, right? It's really having a good product, good, pretty decent ad creative. I think that really is much more important than the mechanics itself.
Yeah, it's funny thing is that sometimes the wrong grammar makes you more human, right?
That's true.
So sometimes sometimes people like that. I remember you ever share a case study about how you have a good ad with just black and white video or picture, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's how we look at what are other marketers doing. So we just do it opposite. Like if people are using a lot of color, so we just do the black and white.
Yeah.
Right? And vice versa.
It works.
Yeah.
And you mentioned about Facebook audience, right, early on, and it's really true, because to me, I feel that consumers are getting smarter and smarter nowadays, right? So like you said, in the past, simple text design, they sell very well, and now they want more sophisticated, more nicer, complicated designs. And it's good in a way, because as marketer, it helps us to up our game and not just do simple things. And it's good in a way you think about it.
Yeah. All
right, so let's talk about a Pi Day now. I'm really curious about that campaign. Walk us through on what was the inspiration of that design, and maybe you can touch a little bit about product research if that is related to it, and maybe you can share about Facebook ad side. How do you scale it up? Obviously, you spend some amount of advertising budget, right, to scale it up to sell 20,000 units.
Yeah. So I got the idea when I did research about product design. If I'm not mistaken, I went to T-shirt marketplace. I forgot exactly what site, but there are a lot of like Etsy, and then so marketplace that sells T-shirt. And then I found a T-shirt that with Pi Day on it, and I was curious. I mean, what design is this, Pi Day? So I look into the Google. I searched Pi Day, and it happened that people in US, you know, they celebrate it every year. You know, they do contests, they do games to celebrate it, and it happens to be March 14 every year.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want to make sure, so I went to, you know, Google Trends. I type in Pi Day, and, you know, there's a huge traffic every year consistently. So, you know, if there's Google Trends consistent graph, you know that there's a market for it, right? So yeah, so I came with the concept, you know, Pi Day is infinite, right? 3.1415. Yeah, I don't even memorize it, but it's infinite. So I tell my designer, okay, I want the concept, the design to look infinite, and this is, it happened to be the Pi Day of the century, which is, you know, 3.1415, which is March 14, 2015. So
perfect.
Yeah,
perfect.
Yeah. So that's a perfect moment, you know, with great design from my designer, and yeah, we were able to sell that many. So that's basically how I did the research and get the idea.
So it was Google Trends, right?
It's Google Trends, and, you know, look at the US marketplace.
And how about the Facebook ads side about it, right? Maybe can you share a bit about your detailed targeting, or maybe how you scale it up?
The targeting is basically very simple, because there is Facebook did have, you know, Pi Day interest at that time. It's around, I think it's around tens of thousands of audience, or 100,000, I forgot. But yeah, Pi Day and Pi Day's celebration or whatever. And then I target, you know, math interest, and then science interest, teacher, physics, and even engineering. Like, so there are four to five main keywords that I target. So I create, because I knew that this is, if my hypothesis is correct, then this would, you know, would be very huge, because this is Pi Day of the century. So I even create one ad set for one interest, which is not suggested by Facebook nowadays. But at the time, I create one ad set, one interest, in order to, you know, to really bombard the audience. And yeah, the budget is as low as $5 at that time for each ad set. And, you know, I happen to have like 400 running ad sets at the same time with low budget. And then I adjust the budget according to the ads report, which bring me conversion. So if this ad set bring me conversion today, I would up it to like 10 times or 5 times, depending on the number of sales of that day. So if 2 days later the sales slow down, I will bring back the budget. Yeah, so I do that for every ad set. So for that 1 month, I really concentrated on my campaign, because I have a lot of ad sets to check.
Were you using like Ad or
no? It's totally manual. Manual. So and from there I created, you know, what is very powerful, which is the look-alike audience. So that's basically how I target the interest.
So purely automated bidding, no manual bidding.
No manual bidding at all. And I ran engagement objective, which, you know, actually for sales we need to go for conversion. But in this case, I believe that because this is Pi Day of the century, which is something really happening, I believe that they will tag their friends, their families. So that's the reason why I ran engagement ads. I think my account for 70% of the whole campaign. I still ran like traffic and conversion ad set, but 70% of them are engagement ads.
Oh, but that's very unique. That's something very unique. I mean, most of the time we talk about sales. You know, everyone would do, you know, website conversion, purchase, add to cart, and all this. Like for this specific case, 70% is engagement. Would you suggest someone to do this right now for any of the typical dropshipping Shopify stuff?
Generally, I would suggest doing conversion first if you direct sell. Because you know, regarding the algorithm change that Facebook tried to limit engagement, so I think it makes more sense if you want to sell something, you go for conversion. But if your conversion ads do really well, then you can try another objective, which is traffic or engagement. But of course, depends on your context. So like my context was, I wish that people tag during this short period of time. Started my campaign on January, so they only have like 1.5 months before the sale. I mean the t-shirt close, because we need to have 14 days to deliver. So yeah, I played along with the scarcity. So that's why I chose, okay, let's try engagement, and it turned out to work really well. But yeah, depends on your context. But in general, I would suggest to first go for conversion if you sell something.
That's true.
It's different case if you have, for example, if you have online course, and you have a cold audience that you need to educate them first. So you can run video ads first, video views or engagement, to educate them, or even you run traffic ads to direct them to your website to educate them, and then you can have the follow-up ads to to retarget them to sell your product or your course.
Nice. Now you mentioned that Facebook nowadays does not favor one ad set, one interest. Am I right?
Yep. Yeah. I would say so. Yeah.
Because like all this while, right? Even I spoke to Nicholas Kuzmich, right? He was suggesting one ad set, one interest, so that I mean, if as compared to if you bundle up all the interests, if you have sales from the ad set, you don't know the sales come from which interest. I mean, that's the argument here. So maybe, can you elaborate on that a bit?
Yeah. I would say that there is no right or wrong approach, right? I mean, depending on the context again. I would say that if you first started and you really have no other assets, you only have interest to target, and you really need to find out which interests work. So so you need to run one asset, one interest. Right? But you need to know that there will be a very big, how we call it, a possibility that there will be overlap, and Facebook doesn't like overlap. It will limit your reach, right?
Yep.
So, but there's a but. If you run your ad set, you have a lot of ad set with each ad set, one interest. But if you play with small budget, then overlap doesn't really matter, right? It becomes problem when you scale your ad set. So I think the thing with one ad set, one interest is that you are not able to scale the ad sets when you find a winning product. You need to create another one, right? So the point is that if you are researching which interest works, which interest doesn't work, so yeah, you can run with a small budget, but I think that's for the beginning phase. But after that, it makes no sense to one ad set, one interest, because it limits your capability to scale when you find a winning ad set.
So you suggest to bundle up interest?
I would suggest in general to bundle up.
All right.
One interesting is that nowadays the way I test product is if I know that this product is running well, and if it can relate, if the target audience is a general audience, like for example, if I sell something that every girl can buy, so I just target the whole United States without any interest. Or I gather all the interests of yoga, for example. So the audience will be like tens of millions of audience, and then I just go for conversion, purchase, optimize for purchase, and it can give me good result if the product really unique. So that's why I would suggest go for huge audience. That's actually what Facebook suggests as well, which is try to prevent overlap in your ad sets.
Very good point.
Yeah.
So for you guys watching this, write this down. Try to prevent overlap. Very good tip here. Okay, so well, besides, are you still doing Teespring? Just curiosity.
Not really. I'm more to dropshipping. AliExpress, because Teespring, it limits you the product for only t-shirt and pants and stuff, right? But if AliExpress, you have a whole range of products that you can test.
Anything.
Anything, yeah, basically anything.
Okay, so then in that case, let's talk about dropshipping AliExpress. Maybe can you share one strategy, one tip on how on product research? Is there?
I would usually go to AliExpress, like everyone do, and then I will type in your niche keyword, and you sort by order. So I will try to look at the product with lots of orders. That's the first step, and then the second step is I will go to the review and check out the recency of the review. So how recent the review is, because if the review is recent, it means that people is still buying nowadays, right? So the product is still selling. And the third step would be see whether there are people from US buying this product. Yeah, because I believe that if you want to target something worldwide, so at least the US people need to consume this product first, because many people just look at the US trend, right?
That's true.
So yeah, if there are some people from US buying this product, so it gives me a hint that this might sell well in US. And then the fourth would be recheck again in the US marketplace, like Amazon, whether they also selling the same products, even though they will sell cheaper price or whatever. But if Amazon also have this product, it means that it confirms that there is audience to buy this product in US.
All right.
Yeah, so that's how I do the product research.
Great tips. So so that was for you guys watching, right? There was a research strategy using AliExpress, where you check on reviews, yours was recent reviews, right? Yeah. There's one more at the bottom, recent transaction. That's where I check it out as well.
Yeah.
So let's talk about print on demand, because you have been doing very well the past few years, and we have a lot of viewers who also they also want to learn more about print on demand, right? Any advice on design research? Because I believe at the end of the day, when people buy your, whether it's t-shirt or mug or whatever, it's really your design. It's all about your design, right? How do you come up with all these ideas and all these beautiful designs?
No, to be honest, I have no idea what tips to give for design, because it's very subjective. And yeah, until now, I cannot tell for sure which design works. So at the end of the day, you need to test. Yeah, you need to test. It's a truth. It's a truth. You need to test. But the thing is that if you go for one niche for a longer time, then you will have a competitive advantage compared to other people that are not in this niche, because you know what kind of design based on your experience can relate to a niche, right? So yeah, the longer you are in one niche, the more competitive advantage you have. But in terms of design tips, I'm not really from design background. I'm more from math background. So my way of thinking is always, something needed to be tested in order to say that this works or not.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I think, like you say, if you're long enough in a niche, you know the audience well.
Yeah.
So you kind of like know their taste, their style, what they want, what they don't want, right?
Yeah. Right.
All right. And we have a few questions coming in. We'll go through later on. By the way, if you guys enjoying some good tips from Albert, give some hearts, some thumbs up. Feel free to post your questions. We'll go through them in a while. And so, we'll talk more about Facebook ads, right? I'm looking at the questions, by the way, if you're wondering. So assuming you have a new product to test out now, you found something good from AliExpress, you want to test it out. How would you go about to set up your campaigns, your ad set, your ads, maybe budget-wise and everything, basically?
Yeah, nowadays I try to test 4 to 5 products minimum a day. And I'm more to general products nowadays. So not really niche product, but something that can sell to, a lot of people, that can relate to a lot of people, so that I can scale once I found a winning design. So I would create two ad sets. One is for US and one is for worldwide. And I would start with, depending on how many products I tested that day, from $5 to $20 per ad set. And I will go for conversion objective, optimized for purchase. So that's how, So that's how I started my ad set, my every product to test.
How about in terms of the ad creatives? Do you most of the time videos, or do you split test a couple of image ads?
I would prefer video if I have it, for sure. I have a creative team which will gather the product. If we can ask from the supplier whether they have the video of product, then it will be good. But if not, then we need to do some research on YouTube and create our own, so that we don't want to infringe other people's copyright, right? So you need to ask your creative team to create a new video for you. And I usually will also, one ad set, I will create two ads. One is image and one is video, and to see what works.
Nice. That's a nice twist to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because for us, we kind of like split everything according to ad sets. But yeah, probably that's a good twist where one ad set.
Yeah, because if you're not really the way you put one ad set and then two ad, that's, you do it when you are not really want to test the creative. You just want to, let's see which one Facebook choose, right?
Yeah.
So the one that does not perform, you just turn it off. But if you really want to test which creative works better, whether it's image or video, then there is a new feature by Facebook which is creative split testing. I think you can use that. Yeah.
All right. And so there's one common question that I always get: how fast do you switch off your ads, or do you analyze whether it's should I switch off, should I go on? How do you, in your opinion, analyze this part of it as a mathematician?
I got a lot of questions, like these kind of questions, but there is no final answer because everybody's budget is different. But there are some concept that I think might help, is that you need to test. I'm not really, I don't really know statistics. I mean, how to do a proper test, but from what I read is that you need to have, minimum 1 week, one cycle to test something. So one cycle is usually 1 week, right? It's better if you have 2 cycles, which is 2 weeks. But sometimes if you have a lot of product to test, you don't want to spend like 2 weeks to test just one product, right? So if you only have one product and you want to test creative, you want to test copywriting, then I would suggest you go for minimum 1, maximum, let's say 2 or 3 weeks. But if you do drop shipping and you have a lot of products to test, then you have to create a rule for yourself. Like, for example, some people go for the rule, like one product, the maximum budget is $200. So if I spend $200 and still losing money, then I will go for the next product. And some people will go for, based on KPI. So for example, my profit per product is $20, for example. So it means that if I spend more than $20, it means that I'm losing and no sales, it means that I'm losing money, right? So for every starting ad set, I will go for twice the KPI. So if this ad set, I spent $40 already, but there's no sales at all, then I will, turn off the ad set.
Double of your KPI.
Yeah, double of my KPI. If other ad sets also have experienced the same thing, and then I will recheck whether is it really that the product sells well. If I see that other people selling well, but how come it's not selling on my site? So it might be the wrong targeting, or the market is saturated already. Then you can, if you still want to test, you can test, because the dropshipping is very good because you not only are able to sell to US, but also to the worldwide. So you can test other country, because maybe other people, other marketers, they have not tested other countries. And there's one product, I would not say it's my original idea, but I saw the product, some marketers are running the products, and I think they target internationally. That's why I see these ads. And then I ran it worldwide, and I found a few countries that are selling very well. So I just focus my campaign not on the US, but for these specific countries. Yeah, but of course you need to, and of course you need to make sure that your supplier, the shipping part can work for that country, because sometimes some country it takes like 2 months for the product to arrive, and you receive a lot of complaint and stuff. So yeah, you need to really work on that regarding the shipping.
Yeah,
because sometimes it's not about the sometimes the AliExpress to the country it takes only 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but the problem is the custom of that specific country. It takes 1 month and plus, but the customer will complain to us, right? So yeah, if customer complain, then you need to refund them. So it's just a matter of mathematics calculation, whether it's profitable for you or not.
It's very smart, right? You guys watching, take note, right? So you saw product selling very well, and yes, from the comments, all this, you kind of like can judge, the countries and all. And so what you realize was when you promote the same product, and there's some countries besides US are doing well, right? So then you just focus on whatever the country is, let's say Canada, just focus all your budget on that, and you just dominate that country. And that's one really good way, because I think this happens to everyone. All of us, we are always focusing on US. There's always a biggest chunk of money there, right? There are a lot of money to be made there, but there are also other countries like Australia, Canada, UK, and all. There are also a lot of people liking the same product, right?
Yeah. And
I was talking to this about Matt, where if that product is already doing well, what we discussed was we can also sell the same product, but in a different angle.
Yeah.
So it's exactly the same product, different angle, different video ads, on a different angle. I think because when we do research, because we are in the doing the same dropshipping stuff, I'm sure you and we have seen so many viral ads, and that, like, I think you can say that most of the viral ads, you can also find 50, 100 other sellers using the same video, selling the same product. It's just and
I think that's very good tips from you to change the angle of a product, right? Because one product we can sell from many different angles, right?
That's true.
Yeah, that's a good tip.
Yeah, and the recent example I saw was the talking hamster. I'm not sure if you've seen that.
The one to put on the phone, is it? No,
not a toy, a hamster toy, a talking hamster. So it's just a cute toy, a hamster, where if you whatever sound you make, it will copy your sound.
Oh, okay. So
it is super viral, and the viral video was a hamster and the babies. So it's basically your babies, parents will buy for their babies. It was really viral, and so the different angle that I saw recently was for pets, for dogs, and it's really viral. They have like 60, 100,000 shares, like crazy numbers. So exactly the same toy, instead of babies, is now dogs, different kinds of dogs. It's for pets.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
It's really I never really look at it that way, this kind of baby toys, but I look at it as like, hey, this is pretty smart.
Yeah.
Pretty smart.
That's all right. Point.
It is. All right. So, okay, let's talk about one more question about Facebook ads, right? And so for our viewers today, right? And those who are just getting started and they want to improve their game on Facebook ads, right? What are the few core principles that you think they have to understand, or they have to master in order to be good in Facebook ads?
Yeah, I think some core principles is that, you know, you have to, like what I said before, you have to accept the fact that the market always changes, the platform always changes. So you have to accept that so that you will no longer complain once Facebook algorithm changes. Right? Because if we always blame mindset, right? Because if we always blame the Facebook, you know, if there's one point when you blame, oh, my ads isn't working, so why other people's ad is working, right? So it means that it's still Facebook ads still work. It's just that maybe you have the wrong products, or you have the creative and copywriting that doesn't relate to your audience. Yeah, I think that's a very important thing that I myself learned. You know, because when I started, I also tend to blame, Facebook is not working. Now, you know what interesting is that when I got started on 2014, even at that time, people say that Teespring was already saturated. Right? If I listen to that and I stop doing Teespring, then I might not have, you know, some successful campaigns, right? So yeah, so I think that's a mindset. So if people ask me whether Teespring still sells, whether you still can do POD T-shirt, yeah, as long as people still wearing T-shirt, you still can sell. You know, even in my country, local, we have local brand just selling T-shirt. You know, the style is the same as what we do on the Teespring, and they sell really well because they know how to brand themselves, and they know how to, you know, do endorsement to the influencers and stuff. So yeah, we need to up our game, not just blaming the Facebook algorithm. And then the second core principles I think is very important is that you need to spend money to test, right? Because there is no right or wrong way to doing ads. Like, for example, you say Nicholas Kuzmis suggests this, and then I suggest the other way. So there's no right or wrong. It depends on your context, right? What's working for me might not work for you. So it's very important when we learn Facebook ads, we don't learn for just the you know, the tips, the tricks, but we need to learn the mind behind it. Why we do this? Why we run one ad set, two ads? Why we run one ad set, one ad? What's the reason? So you need to ask your mentor or your friends to discuss why we do something. So yeah, even nowadays, I still need to test. So I cannot tell you that which design work. I also need to test to find out. Yeah, I think the last point that I can share is that, you know, especially for people who just get started, it's very important for you to understand that this is the one mindset that I put on my mind when I start learning, is that if it really needs me to take 5 years to master Facebook ads, then so be it. So once you give yourself a long amount of time to learn, then you have no burden, right? You have no burden that you have to make it successful next month, next 2 months, right? So the way I strategize it is that, okay, I need to put a consistent amount of budget every month to test. So it's like, you know, it's like you learn English. You cannot expect to master it in just a few months. You learn English for a few years, right? Yeah. It's the same. It's the same. So you need to pay every month for the English tuition. So it's the same concept. You need to spend you know, certain budget to learn Facebook ads, to test Facebook ads. So for example, if you spend 100 budget for testing, and then if you spend it all and you get no results, then you just take a rest and relearn it, and then wait until next month and then redo it again. So I think yeah, I think that's my suggestion.
Very good tips, because a lot of people they give up too soon. They give up too early, right? They test something, didn't do well, they give up too fast. And to me, it's, you know, when this happened, and I see it very common, I think the problem is not Facebook ads. The problem is the person itself, mindset. And because of that, you know, it kind of like what you say, you know, give yourself a longer time to learn something. Because to me, you know, I'm not an expert in Facebook ads, but you are, right? Now, but it's really awesome because Facebook ads it's a skill, but it's a specialized skill that if you do well, if you're really good at it, you can do very well, you know, in terms of financially, right? Like you are a very good example. Nicholas Kuzmich is an example. He used to be a pastor in a church.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, it's like, it doesn't make sense. Like, what pastor? And now you're a Facebook ads expert. sometimes it just doesn't make sense, but he has his own story, right? But it proves that anyone from any background can be good at something. It's just a skill to learn. Like you go to university, you learn maths, you learn science, or what. It take you 3 years to learn that specific topic. So it's the same thing for Facebook ads, right? So very good tips. You guys do take note on this, right? So we come to the next session is what I call rapid fire questions. A few short questions. Just let me know, right? What answers come to your head. The first question is what is your favorite food?
Well, to be honest, I have no preference on food, but what comes to my mind now is avocado juice.
Wow, really interesting. Are you on some health diet, or it has been your favorite juice?
No, it's one of my favorite juice because avocado with chocolate. It's not really healthy because it's a bit sweet, but yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Avocado with chocolate. Wow, I never heard this.
Yeah. Really?
Is this something common in Indonesia?
Yes, it's very common in Indonesia. It's not in Malaysia. Really? You blend the avocado and then you put some.
I mean, I'm not really a big fan of avocado. I mean, I only eat with sushi if you have it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like blend the avocado and with the chocolate inside. And I don't think I've ever heard this recipe in Malaysia, at least.
Really? I think it's very common in Indonesia. Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna try it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Second question: how do you find inspiration?
How do I find inspiration? From books, from talking to people, and I think these two.
All right, from books and talking to people. And next question.
And one more would be from during your bath, during the shower. Yeah, I find a lot of inspiration during the shower.
So I guess you always take long showers.
Yeah, how can you tell?
Because if short showers when you're like few minutes and you're rushing, then it's hard to get inspiration.
Yeah, I tend to have a longer shower, and I like to just stay there and have the shower, sometimes warm shower, and I think it's very it accounts for because of the relaxed state that you have during shower. Yeah,
that's true. Okay, next question. What was the best piece of advice you have ever gotten?
A lot, but now what I can think of is the one from Gary V, which is, he likes to say, eat shit for the next decade without expecting anything good comes. So it really, put me down to earth and, be willing to try anything without expecting the result would come, come close, right? We just do without expecting results, then that will be very liberating,
Wow, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I always remember this one from Gary V. Someone asked him, give me a good advice in 4 words. He said, you're going to die.
Yeah. That's his favorite.
Life is short. I mean, you're going to die anyway. So, just give everything you have, make today the best day of your life, and just be grateful, live a great life, right?
Yeah.
And what was the worst advice you've ever gotten?
Worst advice?
Don't do Teespring.
Don't what?
Don't do Teespring. Is that the one?
Yeah, I think. To be honest, I cannot remember one worst advice. I cannot think of one, to be honest. Yeah.
We just think that don't do Teespring. That's the one.
Yeah, I think that would be the one. Don't do Teespring.
All right. Okay. So, and what is your? Oh, I think we have that. What is your favorite quote? I think that's pretty much.
Yeah.
Is it the same answer as the one?
What is it?
What is your favorite quote? There was a question.
Yeah, the one that I said from Gary V. I think that's my favorite, and one that I put as a principle to my life nowadays. All right. Yeah.
And what is your favorite vacation spot? I know you travel a lot with your wife.
I love London.
Oh.
I love London because of it. It's very vibrant, and
It's so
Yeah,
busy over there.
it's
I
busy, but
I went there in
yeah,
October.
yeah.
Yeah, so
And I
yeah.
would also say German. You know, German. I mean, German people. I think they are nice. Not saying that London people is not nice, because I went to German a few times and I find out that yeah, German people are really nice. They are very friendly and a lot of open space there. You know, compared to yeah.
Will you ever migrate to another country or Indonesia for life?
We are actually thinking about it, but it's still very raw. So yeah, I don't think it's the time to talk about it, but it comes to mind once in a while. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just like me when we travel to other, Western countries, like, wow, here's so nice, cool weather and all. And then Malaysia is like,
Very humid, hot,
I mean, it's
humid,
good.
right?
I mean, life is good. I mean, like you earn in
Yeah.
US dollars and you spend in Indonesian rupiah, you're living like a king. I mean, simple and good life, right?
Yeah. But I think that like for example, my country, Indonesia, we also have a lot of good people here.
Yeah.
And yeah, the thing is more to yeah, it just individual preference, everybody has different preference. But I think that Indonesia as well, Malaysia, I think has a lot of huge opportunity for people who want to do business, right? That's why this is a very huge country, I think, for Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand to start your business. Yeah.
Online business is the best.
Online business as well. Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you have an offline business, right? If you compare offline and online business, to start an online business, you literally need, maybe a few $1,000s, including advertising. And you can do pretty decent. You can get some results as compared to offline. You might need to fork out a huge capital for, I don't know, franchising or whatever. You need to get the building, hire staff and all this, and that is you haven't even started your business. Those are just
Correct.
So in terms of capital wise,
right, I think this is a very huge opportunity. I always tell people that if there is one skill that you really need to learn nowadays for internet marketing, you need to learn how to drive traffic, especially Facebook ads. People are saying that the ads cost is getting higher and higher, but I think for my country, for example, it's still very, very cheap. For third world country, for second world country, it's still very cheap. So this is a huge opportunity that for people who want to, even do part-time business, it's very doable because of the scalability and the the relatively cheaper advertising costs compared to television, magazine, newspapers. Yeah.
So you mean running ads targeting to Indonesian audience?
Yeah. For sure.
Right.
Although I don't expect that a lot of marketers will target Indonesia, so just let me do it.
Yeah, I do target Malaysians as well for my internet marketing stuff. So it is much cheaper as compared to US especially. So it's good.
And people buying power is is getting better and better, right? In our countries. Yeah,
that's true. Buying online has become more like a habit now. It's very cool. Right. Which is a good thing for us.
Yeah.
Okay, so next section is a question from the audience.
Okay.
All right. We have quite a few here. So I'm going to go through a few. By the way, if you have questions, please post them now before it's too late. Okay. So by the way, we just have a few people that from all around the world, really, right? We have Dean Henry here from Indonesia. We have Fitri, I believe, from Indonesia as well. We have Chris from Malaysia. So a mixture of Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, everywhere else, right? So quick question here. Okay. By Freddie Sidauruk. Quick question advice. Been dropship in my local country about 4 to 6 months, but I don't want to be stupid by jump into e-commerce international. What is your advice for me, Albert?
Yeah, if you are doing well in your country, I don't know what country you're in, but like Indonesia, a lot of people doing very well just targeting local. And I would suggest them just focus on local business, right? You don't necessarily need to go. Nowadays the trend is worldwide e-commerce, and you don't need to go for that. You just do whatever you can do now. Like local business is very huge as well. So
It is.
so if you are doing well, so I suggest that you reinvest the money back to what you are doing well now, and scale that even more.
All right. And for Freddie, right? I mean, if you're doing, I think you're from Indonesia. The name Sidauruk. I don't know. I'm guessing.
I think.
But if you're doing well in your local country, which is good, then just focus on that, because there's one thing I learned really, in my past 7 years doing internet marketing. When I started my high ticket coaching programs, I wanted to reach out to the United States people, right? And because US people, internet marketing, how to make money online is very common, right? But I realized that most of my students and most of the people that I can really relate to are Asians, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia. So I don't have a choice, even my English, I'm not so good at English also, I'm forced to just serve Asia, So I'll say 95% of my client base are Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, Philippines. 5% are from US, UK, and the rest of the world. So like Freddie, if you're good in Indonesia, if you're good in whatever local country, just focus on that. That is your strength, all right?
Yeah.
That is all your money are there.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Okay, one more. Budiono Bilzenka. How is the proven tips to scaling up budget? Okay, we might need to. How is the proven tips to scaling up budget? I think what he's asking is if you're doing your mini ad sets, right, $5-10 per ad set, and you have performing ad sets, how would you scale up? Do you have any tips for him?
Yeah, so you would want to look at the ROAS, which is return on ad spend. So if your ROAS is high, like 3 or 4 above, then you can scale more aggressively, like double your budget. Because there's a risk that when you scale your budget, then your ad will start getting a worse performance, right?
Yep.
Worse performance. So that's why if you have lower return on ad spend, like just 2, for example, then you need to scale up more conservatively, which is maybe I would suggest 20 to 50% to test how your scaling up works before you scale too high. Yeah, if you really need to scale quickly, then I would suggest you to create a new ad set and you scale out to other audience instead of focusing on one ad set and push all your budget too fast on it.
All right. So for your case, a good ROAS will be 3 and above.
Yeah, 3 and above. Of course, it's easy calculation, but of course it depends again on your your base cost. Yeah,
that's true. All right. So and there's one more thing that a lot of people always discuss, right? Let's say I have a winning ad set right now. Let's say we have a winning ad set. Like in your case, do you increase the budget of that winning ad set, or do you duplicate first? Then
I would increase the budget of that ad set. We know that and Facebook stated this clearly. Optimization happens in ad set level. So it means that if you duplicate the ad set, it brings. I mean, people are expecting that the optimization also brought along with the duplication, right? But it's not true.
Start from new, right?
Yeah, it's not true, because I have made sure with the Facebook teams I asked about this, and they said that no, there is no optimization brought along with the duplication. So when you duplicate, you just the reason duplicate works is because you already have a good targeting, you already have good creative, so that's why it works. Or sometimes it's just randomness as in that the time we have our ads run is very important, because if we just have our ads started and we have a lot of engagement right from the beginning, then our ad will have a good position compared to if you start your ad and no engagement in the beginning. So if you have ad set that is not performing, you might want to try to duplicate it, to test the randomness.
Very interesting. And I've been doing this testing for a while, but it's proven many times that it works. But probably correct me if I'm wrong, right? So we have winning ad sets, and we will duplicate, maybe another 2-3 of that winning ad set. And I would say all the time, right? The duplicated ones, not all 3 of them. Let's say I have 3, right? Not all 3 will perform better, but I will find definitely 1 or 2 new ad sets that will have better results than the original one.
Yeah, I also have one experience where I have a bad ad set, and then I duplicate it, and then it gets very well, and I scale from there, and it performs really well just by duplicating it. Like what you said, I duplicate it 4 times, maybe just get 1 that is working. So I'm not saying that duplication doesn't work. What I'm saying is that don't expect the optimization is brought along to the duplication. So you don't expect, my ad set is working very well. I have already 500 purchases. So Facebook already optimized, right? Have data to optimize. You don't expect when you duplicate, it brings this 500 purchases data to the new ad set. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah. And there's one thing I wanted to ask earlier on. I missed it out, right? And you mentioned that, what was it again? You mentioned that when you do the testing, initial testing, you run it for at least 7 days, right? 1 week.
For some products.
Yeah, some products. So in your conversion window, do you choose 7 days or 1 day? Which one will you normally test first?
The nature of my products will let me choose the 1 day, because I always start with 1 day first. Because if you go to ads report, you can always go to the attribution window to find out that, for example, if you have 200 sales already in your ad set level, you can check how many percentage of that sale come from 1 day window or 7 day windows, right? If 80%, 90% of your sales are coming from the 1 day window, then you just choose the 1 day conversion window. Yeah, I just based on that.
Okay, all right. Yeah. So I hope, Budiono, hope we answer your questions. Next, Danny Santoso. I don't think it's Okay, so Danny's asking, I have one ad set with 15 videos and one video dominant use 95% of budget. They do not run with same percentage, but always have one ad dominant. So what is your question?
I think I understand his question. What he's saying is that he expects that one ad set with 15 ads, and they expect that the budget will spend equally, right, among the ads. Yeah, but it doesn't happen that way, because Facebook optimize too quickly usually, and then make decision too quick on which ad will perform better on their eyes, and they will focus the majority of the budget on that ad. So you don't expect to split test properly using this method. If you want to split test properly, you need to use the Facebook new feature, which is split test, which you can choose on the objective. On the campaign level. Yeah.
All right. 15 videos. That's I don't know. Is it 15 different videos or what? That's quite a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
All right. So, okay. Danny's asking, do I want to order avocado chocolate? Free shipping. Okay. Funny. Okay. What is this? Marcus Hermawan. How to make good text ads on Boost Post on service future reading by Butsy method. What is Butsy? Is it? How to make good text ads on Boost Post?
I think he's asking about copywriting.
Yeah, I think so. Any tips on copywriting?
Copywriting, I think you need to put the first 2 or 3 lines, make sure that you have your whole idea, the benefit of your product on the first top 2 or 3 lines. And the simple suggestion that I can give is you think of the before and after state. So for example, if I don't know, for example, dog training, right? Dog training. So the before state is that are you not able to control your dog, for example, or your dog running wildly or whatever? And then that's why we have a solution, which is this tutorial. So you can train your dog properly and whatever, right? So if you can mention the before and after, I think that would be very good for the audience. But there is a but. Remember not to use before and after picture, especially if you're in slimming industry, weight loss, aging. Yeah, that's not allowed by Facebook. And remember not to to point to the user attribute. You don't mention people's age. You don't mention people disability. Yeah, so make sure that you focus on your product's benefit instead of your users' weaknesses.
Yeah, and it's all about, I mean, ads, copywriting is really about psychology, right? Human psychology.
Yeah.
And so I'm reading his book, like it's called Cashvertising. I think it's really good. You guys should pick it up. And so, like there's one thing that Nicholas mentioned, I remember that, people buy mattress, right? Not because, it's cool, but people buy mattress so that they can sleep well at night. It's very comfortable and all. So they buy mattress not because of the mattress, but because of what the product can do for them, the benefits. So that's what just a metaphor example of what Albert explained earlier on. Okay, there's a lot of questions from everyone. I think we just get one or two. Okay, Dean Henry, what is the best recommended print-on-demand service T-shirt in Indonesia?
To be honest, I didn't really test them, but what comes top of mind is I heard a lot of a good case study with Blast Blues, if you know, and Tisco ID. Yeah, if Indonesian marketer would know Blast Blues and tis.co.id. Yeah, you can test those two.
All right.
Yeah.
Glass, I don't know how to spell it, but yeah, Glass Boost and
they were BLAZ BLUZ.
All right. So let's have two more questions we have questions from everywhere, literally, because it goes to many Facebook groups, goes to many everywhere. One more from Yup. It's about zero targeting, the one that you just target like super broad, just women, right? No interest. He said, I assume the pixel must be mature with lots of data, or can we use this for a new pixel?
Of course, if you have old pixel, which has been focusing on one niche, that would help. But I believe that 80-90% of the optimizations happens on ad set level, which means that even though if you have a new fresh account, but you have a very good product, you have a very good targeting, it can work as well, as long as your product can relate to lots of people. Like, for example, there's a push-up bra, right, that people are selling, and that you can run that ad.
Is that your winning product?
That's not mine. That's not mine. But you can run that kind of ads to just any girl, right? Any woman. So yeah, so it depends on your product.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, like the Facebook ads, and all this pixel algorithm, all if I really look at from an eagle point of view, like eagle eye, like if you have a really good product, right? All this pixel and mechanic stuff, it's how would I say? It doesn't really. I mean, it is important. I'm not saying it's not important, but if your product is really good and it's something unique, special, no matter how you set it up, I think people will really go crazy after it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think at the end of the day is I I believe it's about human, whether you understand human behavior or not. Because at the end of the day, you are selling to human. I mean, no matter how good you are at the algorithm, but if you don't understand human behavior, you don't understand what people want, you don't understand what copywriting can relate to them, then you will still lose. So I think the most important is you have to, you have to love human, right? You don't just sell things with the expectation that I will get a lot of money from you, and then when he complain, when he email you, and then you don't reply them. I really believe that if you love them, if you really want to serve them, then you can run good ads.
Yeah, sell something that can really help someone.
Yeah,
something that's useful. All right. Let's pick one or two more questions here. What are the best advertising locations in Facebook? Like right column, news feed, etc., etc. Probably what have, based on your testing for the past few years, what have which placement has been doing very well for you?
Of course, I always start my testing on newsfeed, mobile, desktop. That's the default. And I tested instant article, and it's working quite well. It's working quite well. And Facebook always suggests us to test what we call it. Suddenly I forget the name. Audience. What is it?
Audience network.
Audience network. Yeah, correct. Facebook suggests us to test audience network, but I did get not really good result with it. But I'm using that now for retargeting. So when I test new ad, I test new ad using. Oh, sorry, my phone rings. Sorry, I declined. Okay, so I'm using desktop and mobile to test new ad, and then using all placement for retargeting.
All right, that's a good strategy there. Good strategy. Instant article you mentioned, very very interesting there.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's one thing I remember. Do you, like for drop shipping especially, do you do mostly long ad copy or really short and sweet ones?
Really short.
Short and sweet, that's your
really
style.
Short. Yeah, short and sweet, and use emoji.
Yeah. Emojis, yes.
Yeah.
I'm testing more on the nowadays. I'm testing more on like 5-star product review. I don't know. Have you tested this kind of angle before?
Like testimonials from the users.
Yeah.
That's very powerful. So if I have a good testimonials, good reviews from the users, I just copy and put it on my ad description.
Right. Okay. One last one here. There's really a lot more, I think, but we just need to.
You also post it on the group.
Yeah. We have the comments coming from group and literally from everywhere. So, oh man, which one should I choose? Let's just okay. Let's see. What are Albert's tips on creating the best ad for maximized conversion? What are Albert's tips on creating the best ads for maximized conversion?
I think what we have been talking about can account for the success of your ads. So because the question is quite
pretty much similar.
Quite general. Yeah, it's quite general. So yeah, basically what we have been talking about can help your conversion.
Oh, let's take one more then. Your best retargeting strategies. I mean, is there any specific like strategy? Like do you space them out how many days? Which the coupon code? Any good tip?
Yeah, for I'm doing basic retargeting like for the past 30 days. So for my standard is just the past 30 days view content. And unless if I have a special offer, then I will target the last 7 days. But most of my retargeting ads is the last 30 days view content.
30 days view content. How about those add to cart or did not purchase and all these special custom audience?
I would give 10% discount for the add to cart audience that haven't purchased. Yeah.
All right.
And the view content without discount.
Oh, view content without discount.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm doing 10% on most of the view content, add to cart didn't purchase and all.
Yeah, it's different strategy.
Yeah,
just test your audience.
Yeah, at the end of the day, when it comes to Facebook ads, it's really come down to testing. Whatever method that can get you sales, positive ROI, good ROAS, that works.
What's funny is that during Black Friday, we tend to give discount, right? 50%, 40%. And I mark up my price. I test this method, I mark up my price, and then I give a 40% discount. And it ends up that the discount price is even higher than the before price. And the conversion rate is better compared to before the discount.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's psychology, right? So yeah, you need to test.
Nice. Interesting. Wow, 40%, and then you're laughing all the way to the bank. You make even more money. All right, Albert. So we come to the end of this hangout. And for those of you guys, if you really enjoyed the past 1 hour plus with Albert and me, of course, your host, please give a thumbs up, love, do comment, say Albert is awesome, whatever it is, right? And so Albert,
you're awesome too.
Yeah, thank you. So Albert, all right, what is your final words of wisdom for our viewers today?
Final words of wisdom. Yeah, it's not that I'm very wise. Yeah. So so basically, I think you have to make use of this opportunity, which is the ability to be able to use Facebook ads, to use Instagram ads, to use social media to really boost your business. I mean, in the past 10 years, past 20 years, we don't have this opportunity. We didn't have this opportunity. But if you are living in this era, so you should really, really make good use of this. If not, maybe 10 years later, if the Facebook, Instagram already get saturated and people get a huge success out of it, but you don't, just because you don't even give a try on this platform, so you will regret it, right? So my words is, and I'm also keep telling myself is that don't be lazy. So make sure that you make your day productive. Make a very, very good use of this opportunity.
All right, that's good. So really, success allows speed. Don't procrastinate, don't delay, start today. And it's really, it's not hard to learn about Facebook ads, especially, right? Everyone started from zero. Albert started from zero. I started from zero. Everyone stops somewhere, right? But as long as you keep going on, you don't give up, keep testing, keep improving, you will one day become like Albert.
And Gerald, of course.
All right, so we come to the end. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a great day. All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye.